Welcome to episode 78 of Frenemy Sports Podcast. Um, Gentlemen, Carter, hello to you.
I've been eating dinner and having a glass of wine for the past hour. Now we're gonna mention it now that we're live finally. Thank you for that.
Did anyone else see us when we in the
He
pre-show him drink wine at all?
he waited until the camera was on to start
Thank you.
drinking wine.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Sorry,
You're a showman,
sorry,
Carter. We
sorry.
understand. You're a showman.
Sorry. Okay.
Jackson, can you give us the theme music and do what this episode's all about?
Bum 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 bum.
NFL draft, baby. Let's go. Coming all from a Cleveland background, the draft is our Super Bowl.
It's a big time for us.
Finally, after felt like a 5-year hiatus, even though we did get one last year. Like I know it was high last year still, but it feels like we're finally get back in the swing of things. After the Deshaun trade, we had no first round picks, and of course it's when we hosted the draft, which is the most Cleveland thing ever. But beautiful. The draft is here. Done mocks for the past month, and now
Jackson, I gotta ask. Are you excited about the city that the draft is in?
No, I'm not. I actually think it's a shame that Pittsburgh gets to host. Again, the NFL, they give this city everything, undeservingly so, I might add. No, I mean, I hope the best thing that can happen is the Browns draft a future Super Bowl MVP that plays for them. That would be the best thing that can happen. We could say we got him in Pittsburgh. Best case scenario.
That is true.
I will say I was in Pittsburgh a couple weeks ago, saw them setting up. As of 21 days ago, they didn't have a lot done. So I'm very intrigued to see what they've going
Shocker.
on. Like, there's like nothing done when we passed. Like I was with my parents, but we were shocked. Like there's nothing's built. They had like the outline of like all like the giant like dome almost.
Yeah.
Nothing else. It was bizarre.
Huh.
Outline for the episode. I have my top 10 or my mock draft for the first 10 picks. After each pick, or before every pick, we'll get Jackson's intro music for the pick is in. And then we
Hold on. I'm sorry. Who's got a train going through their backyard?
Okay. I thought it was me.
Did you guys hear that?
I do.
That's certainly not Carter and I.
I was like, what?
I don't think there's a railroad that goes through Athens, Ohio. So, Jacob?
That one may be me. I do live in a railroad track. I also live by a slaughterhouse. If you hear pigs screaming, that's also why. Framework for the episode, though, I will give my top 10, my prediction for the top 10. Now, not who I believe should go, but who I think will go. And then after each pick, we would each give analysis. And then before every pick, most importantly, we are going to hear.
Bum 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 bum.
Thank you, Jackson.
That's really good.
That's gonna make me laugh every single time we do it.
Jake,
Okay.
Did you see I wore my Mel Kipers for this episode? These are not my typical spectacles.
You were the only
typically-
you were the only person under 75 years old that has ever used the word spectacles.
So I'm typically a clear rim, right? Transparent. That's
And-
typically the rim I go, but it's draft day and Big Mel, he wears the dark, and this isn't me. I thought this was a little sharp white. I typically don't go sharp. I think these are sharp. So I'll throw them on once or twice a year for big moments, and I'll throw them on for draft day.
Anyone sees
like
the
them.
Mel Kiper glasses, they know it's a big day.
It's on if you see me walking down the street wearing these puppies. It's
like 'em.
on.
I like him.
Also quick, shout out to Mel Kiper. He made his career off of making mock drafts and predicting things most of the time wrong, but good for Mel Kiper. He also eats pumpkin pie every single day. You ever see the interview with like Pardon My Take? He has a slice of pumpkin pie for breakfast. Is the first thing he consumes every day. He goes through a whole pumpkin pie in a day.
That is
In a day? How big is
I'm
the
pretty
pie?
sure. Look up Mel Kiper pumpkin pie. I guarantee stuff pops up.
That is insane. I never knew that.
All right. Does someone want to be the commissioner?
I feel like it's got to be Hunter.
Welcome to the 2027 NFL Draft.
How do you have the year wrong?
Wait. Me too.
Oh.
Welcome to the 2026 NFL Draft. With the first pick in the NFL Draft, the Las Vegas Raiders select.
Hey, can I just be honest? I'm disappointed with the intro. Is the 2026 draft is open.
Is that it?
Should we-
Oh,
Las Vegas
Should we
Raiders, you're on
should
the
we swap
clock.
out and try Carter?
Yeah, let me go, Carter.
Okay, Carter, give us your best.
Next year's draft, you got it.
So, are we pumping in the booze, or am I supposed to? Can Hunter be
We'll
the
boo
guy?
you.
Yeah,
I'll do the
we'll
boo.
Hunter
I'll do the
do
boo.
it.
Hunter does the boo.
So
Okay.
here I am walking to the microphone. I step up to the microphone,
You suck. You ruined football. Boo!
and with the most lifeless look on my face, I want you to notice how there's literally no life in my eyes. On the biggest day, arguably, in my corporation's season.
Yes, thank you for narrating. Now the pick.
Oh, I'm supposed to say the pick?
No, I'll
Jack-
say the
I
pick.
was- The 2026 draft has now commenced.
It's not even the right line.
Open.
Jake, how are they this bad at
I'll
it?
take it. I'll take it.
You suck. Boo! I feel like I'm doing pretty good.
Hunter at least got the fan portion down.
That's on me. I wasn't
The
ready to be your
2026
underdog.
NFL draft is open. The Las Vegas Raiders are on the clock.
Someone's excited.
Raiders fans.
All four of them.
All right,
Jacob, who's the pick here?
here we go. Jackson.
Bum 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 ba-da-dum bum bum.
With the first pick in the 2026 NFL draft, the Las Vegas Raiders select Fernando Mendoza, quarterback,
Wow.
Indiana.
Wow.
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 Before we analyze this pick, can we go top to bottom and everybody give their best Lightning McQueen, Owen Wilson, wow impression? We'll start with Jake.
Wow.
Little zesty, but okay. That was, I mean, that's not a crazy critique on my end. Hunter, are you ready? That sounded like a constipated cat. Carter,
I'm on fire today.
first place is all you.
Wow.
That was the person that just yelled in the background might have been better.
All right. Do we really need to talk about this pick much?
Yeah, I'll give a quick overview on the pick.
Yeah. Give a brief
Yeah.
synopsis.
Yeah, it's a great pick. Mendoza's a gem. I absolutely love Fernando Mendoza. He's perfect for the NFL. He's the perfect guy that a Las Vegas team can select because he's just going to go there and just focus on football. Hunter, you and I were big on the LinkedIn space. I've been
Yes.
messaging him consistently, trying to get him to accept my connection. I'm hoping he does that before the draft. No, I love Mendoza. This is a great quarterback, great guy. It's going to be a great fit in Las Vegas. And I will say, as a Browns fan, I'll get heat for this. I'm furious they went 2-0 to end the year because had they lost out, Mendoza would be a Brown, but that's okay. We move on. I'm very, very excited for Mendoza and his career in Las Vegas.
Now I'll play some devil's advocate here.
Mm-hmm.
I guess double devil's advocate. One, is there any way Mendoza is not selected here? Number two, is there any way he's a bust?
I think the probability of him being a bust is much more likely. That could
Yeah.
always happen. If Mendoza is not a Raider in about 24 hours, I would be more shocked if he's not a Raider than I would be if the United States and Iran engage in nuclear warfare in the next 24 hours. That would be about my state of shock.
Yeah.
I'll say an unpopular opinion, maybe based on what Jack just said. I'm actually not a huge fan of any single quarterback in this draft, and I'm sure we'll touch on some later. There's one in particular that I have had some issues with for a large period of time, and then I actually had the privilege of working across from a Alabama alumni during my internship recently, and he thought that this quarterback was heaven sent. But we'll get to that later. I actually don't think Mendoza is going to be instant. However, if Mendoza were not to be the number 1 draft pick, we'd be looking at a draft day situation like the movie Draft Day, except Mendoza is a great guy. So, like, he would be falling for literally no reason unless he, like, I don't know, pulled a gun on someone in the draft day interviews. Like, what would Mendoza have to do in order to not be drafted 1 is a better question than
two
would
things.
Mendoza be not drafted 1.
The gun situation you're thinking of, we've already covered that. That was the cornhole player. Okay, that was not Mendoza. That was the cornhole amputee. And with the movie Draft Day, I'm so glad you brought this up because this is a take of mine that I've always had, and I've never gotten to share this on frenemies before. Watching that movie, I think it is so evident that if that the Browns passing up on Bo Callahan and he goes to Seattle, I guarantee you, in that storyline, Bo Callahan has won at least 3 Super Bowls.
Yeah, they never tell you the results of draft day. It
True,
turns
we need a
out
draft
that
day too.
the Browns linebacker turned out to be a bust, and everyone got fired within 2 years. There's also a
Sonny's
scandal
gone
with the one
immediately.
woman that was working in the office that becomes the GM. So that's a whole scandal, and then the whole
Which that would be fitting for the Browns.
Yeah,
So,
it would be.
seriously then, what does Mendoza have to do to not get picked first tomorrow night? Or what would he have had to have done?
The
guys.
thing,
How outlandish?
He's the pick.
No, I know
Yeah.
he's the pick, but like theoretically, is it
Murder
that's what it is?
on camera.
On camera. Okay.
If
Yeah.
it's
I don't
allegation
know.
that says like a possible involvement of previous killing, I think they would still draft and be like, I think he's innocent.
well, and
didn't
it's the
that just
Raiders
happen?
too.
And didn't that just happen with Reuben Bain?
Yeah, we'll get to him.
Ooh.
We'll get to
Okay.
him.
Yeah. I will say last thing here with Mendoza. Mendoza's a player where he's so NFL ready that I think his floor is so high that you just have to draft him at 1. However, I don't know his ceiling. That's the problem. I don't know how much better he's going to get. But I do think he's a great kid. He is unbelievably smart. His football IQ is through the roof. So I'm curious to see how Mendoza's career plays out, especially with the Raiders, which seems kind of like an odd fit. But the Raiders do have a lot of good young weapons, especially on the offensive side. So I don't know. Yeah, Mendoza's going to be interesting.
I think Mendoza's NFL readiness, just to like make a last point here, is his brain. It's his IQ. There's still some things physically that I don't love, specifically the rolling right jump pass. It reminds me of every quarterback the Browns have had for the last 40 years, it feels like. He will die on the football field if he jumps into a pass like that and gets leveled by an NFL linebacker, Fred Warner coming down, for example. There's some things he's got to clean up, but you can't beat the tier 1 character and IQ that he displayed in college.
Yeah.
O'Neal.
Bum 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 bum.
With the second pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the New York Jets select David Bailey, edge, Texas Tech.
Yeah. See, the thing with David Bailey, I don't know much about him. I just didn't watch a lot of Tech football. Now in the playoffs, he was unbelievably dominant, I will say. But I feel like Jacob Rodriguez. Okay, correct me if I'm wrong here. I thought him and Jacob Rodriguez were like kind of 1A, 1B when I was visually watching. Now I know they're like Jacob Rodriguez projected like late second, 3rd round pick. I don't know. I just don't know enough about David Bailey to make an informed opinion. I feel like I just haven't watched enough of him.
Yeah, so he's like a pure pass rusher. He's not even like an every down like edge is what they're saying. He'll grow into it, but he's just pass rushing specialist.
Yeah.
And the reason why I think he's also being very popular with the Jets, head coach Aaron Glenn, when he first got to the Lions, their first pick when they had their top pick in the draft, Aiden Hutchinson. I believe that's what they're going to try to style their kind of franchise around, even though Aaron Glenn will be fired next year. But, not here or there.
Interesting.
Yeah, Jake, I agree with the pick. I think that New York is looking for a pure edge rusher, and I think that's why they go David Bailey, because the other option there is Arvell Reese, and Arvell Reese can kind of play both the pass rusher and linebacker, but I don't think that's what New York's looking for. And Arvell Reese is an absolute monster, given the fact that he can play both edge and he can run with the best of the running backs. I will say it is kind of odd that we're talking about a Texas Tech defensive player going second overall in the draft. With Texas Tech, I'm so used to it just being offensive players. I can't remember the last time Texas Tech had a defensive player in the first round. And maybe they had one last year and I'm just completely blanking, but I can't remember it. It's just going to be our trivia question. I'm going to look that up. We'll see if any of you guys can get it.
I agree with a lot of what Hunter and Jack said. I think the edge is the potentially that, or I'd say middle linebacker, depending on what type of defense you're running, is the most important position in football on the defensive side of the ball. And if they think Bailey's elite, then you should take Bailey if you're the Jets with no real quarterback too.
Yeah, Jets are in a best available situation. You don't have time to really get picky here. The Jets suck. They're horrible. They're god awful at football. They don't really have a ton of good players. So you got to bring in the best possible situation here. Do I think it's David Bailey? Personally, no, but I think a lot of people do think that. So yeah, it's tough to kind of judge this one right now.
It does seem like the closer we get to draft day, the more and more people are confident it's going to be David Bailey. But honestly, 2 through 7 are going to be the same players probably no matter what. But where they go, no one has any type of aspect or idea. Also, I'm going to say this. I didn't involve any trades. The rumor is there's supposed to be a lot of them. And whenever they say that, there's usually 0. But,
a lot of smoke.
Could be a very fun draft day.
Yeah.
Okay, who wants to take a crack at who the last Texas Tech defensive player to go in the first round was? It's actually very recent.
Can you give us
You said first round?
Can you give us
first round 2023, and he went top 10. And he went to a team that's picking in the top 10 this year too.
I have no clue.
I don't think any of you are getting it. I would be floored if one of you gets it.
I have no clue.
It.
I don't even know if I can name you one Texas Tech defensive player right now.
Is it D-line?
It is D-line.
Is it D-tackle?
No.
Mm.
He's a defensive end.
Honestly, give us the team, because honestly, I don't even.
So he was drafted 7th overall to the Raiders in 2023, and I'll say this: I would not say. I think almost everyone would agree with me. He has not lived up to his potential, or at least the spot taken in the draft.
Idea. I was thinking a linebacker.
This isn't the Farrell draft, right?
No, but he was Clemson.
Yeah.
Who is it?
We're looking for Tyree Wilson.
Oh,
definitely not getting that.
Oh, Raiders. Farrell, Wilson. Oh.
Which, does that concern us that Mendoza maybe will be a bust? Just it's a curse from the Raiders.
The Raiders have had it tough.
That's true, but Brady also. Now, granted, I think he was lying about it, but Brady also said Shadur Sanders was a good quarterback. But I digress.
O'Neal, here's with the music. This third pick may surprise.
Bum 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 bum, bum bum bum.
Little remix.
That was a little reggae.
You don't want it to get stale. You don't want it to get stale.
With the third pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the Arizona Cardinals select Francis Mauanoa, tackle, Miami. Now, my basis behind this is Cardinals, they're either going with a high defensive player, which makes sense. However, they just hired an offensive coach in LaFleur. LaFleur, coming from the Rams, you want to have that line set in stone. Their line was bottom 5 last year. They need some sort of protection. My guess, they grab him this year so then they can have someone to protect their future quarterback next year. They go offense, they go tackle.
Interesting. So I've heard some smoke around Jeremiah Love here.
He was the hardest one for me to place because I didn't know he's either. Well, I don't want to spoil picks.
Yeah,
but
that's
that
fine.
was
That's
fine
fine.
to me anyway.
Yeah, I don't know what the Cardinals do. Who's the Cardinals running back right now?
They just signed Algier.
Okay, so they very well could go Jeremiah here. Yeah, this
Correct.
is interesting.
They-
I really like Mauanoa a lot. I think he's the best tackle in the draft, and I don't really think it's that close. Um, he screams all pro to me. I'm not gonna lie. There's really not much in his game that I don't like. And obviously we're not talking about the Browns. I wish and I hope that he will be a future Cleveland Brown tomorrow night. We can get that later, but yeah,
The Cards pick is where a trade down if they can trade down, they are going
they could.
to
Yeah,
try to.
And
And that's where things can get interesting. If someone falls in love with Love, if someone
I think
absolutely needs to have Love, they can maybe trade down.
the Cardinals trading down makes so much sense because with Mauanoa, who's he going to block for? You know what I mean? Like the Cardinals are not going to be competitive this year.
yeah.
Their quarterback, I'm pretty sure their starter right now is listed as either Jacoby Brissett or Gardner Minshew. Then they have Slovis from USC. So we all know that none of these quarterbacks are getting this team, anywhere near contention, especially in the NFC West. So I think it makes total sense for the Cardinals to trade down. But in your mock draft, you're not doing trade, so Manoa kind of makes sense. But for me, it's always hard to get on board with drafting an offensive tackle when you don't have a quarterback.
There is reports, and I guess we'll get into this a little bit later. They do like Ty Simpson.
I hope they take Ty Simpson at 3.
Not at 3, but that would be awesome. That would be absolutely incredible.
Like a Daniel Jones situation.
Manoa's a mammoth of a human. I had the unfortunate privilege of watching him live, and the Hurricanes played a very aggressive run style of football, and he was the leading force in that. They ran majority of their stuff behind him. I think that would be a great pick for the Cardinals. I agree with you, Jake. If that's the route they're going, they should do it. If they can trade back and still get him, even better. Pick up some draft capital for the future. But I think it's absolutely foolish to even look at any other quarterback in the first round not named Fernando Mendoza.
Well, and real quick, actually, Carter makes a really good point about Francis Manoa. I guess maybe he could go to Arizona and they could just have a disgusting run game because Manoa's used to blocking for atrocious quarterbacks, considering he's blocked for Carson Beck for the last year. And that team made it to the national championship with maybe the worst quarterback in the playoffs.
Yeah, they could really go anywhere, and that's where it's kind of no idea what they could do. But this would also be a lot of people are saying it's Love, and it could be you're putting Love in with the Cardinals. Like, do you really want to make the mistake that the Raiders made? You take Genty when you have no O-line, and suddenly he's not a good running back. He's no blocking and no quarterback. So we shall see. But O'Neal,
Jake, before I give you the intro, I am so excited to see who you have 4-5. But are you ready?
that's born ready.
Bum 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 bum, ba-da-dum bum bum.
With the 4th pick, the 2026 NFL Draft, the Tennessee Titans select Jeremiah Love, running back, Notre Dame. So this is the one, and this is where everyone in their mock drafts and the analysts were saying what they're hearing. Love's not dropping out of the top 5.
Yeah.
Even the Giants at 5 said they don't think they're going to fall to him. So it was either Love going 3 or Love going 4. And I don't think the Cardinals want to make the same mistake that the Raiders did to Genty. So that's why Love has to go to the Titans at 4. There was someone else that I would have preferred to give them with Saleh being the head coach, but the way this falls, they take Love at 4.
Does this shock you, O'Neal? Is this the first shock of the night?
If Jeremiah Love goes over Arvell Reese, if Arvell Reese is there for the Titans and they don't, Arvell Reese is the best player in the draft. If they don't take the best player in the draft at 4, if I'm the Browns, I'm trying to trade up to 5 and get Arvell Reese.
I think there's a very high chance that Love's taking over Reese tomorrow.
If Arvell Reese
I
does
kind
not,
of agree.
oh my goodness,
I do kind of agree with that.
Jacob, that shocked me.
I'd
Yeah,
like
it's
to.
one of those things.
Go-
Kind of just it's the way it falls sometimes, and it's
Yeah.
everyone says Love's being picked that high.
I'd like to present a third option that I think the Titans should go with. I honestly think out of the three options, two of them being Love and Reese, the Titans picking Love is the worst one. I think Love's a great running back. I think he's going to be a great running back. Him being picked by the Titans and or the Giants make no sense to me. You bring up Robert Saleh. He thrived in a defense with an elite linebacker named Fred Warner. And Fred Warner,
Hold. Don't spoil picks. We're not spoiling picks. Hold. I know who you're gonna say. Wait till he gets announced, and then you can bring him back.
okay.
Yeah, this I don't know. So there is going to be some crazy stuff. I think that happens tomorrow night. But like you said, I think 2 through 7 is so hard to predict this year that anyone within that range is like really is not going to surprise me that much. Just because I think the top 7 is, or I guess 2 through 7 is so. What's the word I'm looking for? Like versatile almost with the picks. Like there's such good players, and you could go in such different directions that would I take Love at 4 over Reese if I'm the Titans? No, I wouldn't, but I see a very realistic scenario where that happens.
It's a really abnormal top 10. Like, I've compared it to next year's draft. I think there's going to be a ton of quarterbacks in the next year's draft. So it's almost like a bunch of these teams where normally, you'd roll the dice on some of these quarterbacks are so disgusted by all these quarterbacks that aren't named Mendoza. And there's so much talent pool at these skill positions that you're going to see teams. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a lot of trade downs. I know that's being rumored, but why would you not try to capitalize when, you have a player here and a player here? Does trading to this player really impact this much when you need both their positions? Like, that's what I'd be, if I'm a general manager, that's how I'd be thinking, but
Yeah.
I'm not, so I don't know until it happens, but it's a good point you make on how uniform 2 through 7 is, and the teams that are picking too. There's not a lot of different needs that those teams have. There's one that's glaring in all the teams that are different, but
Yeah.
I will say for the Love pick there, you also give your second-year quarterback now, Cam Ward, at least some help and some additional resources. So try this round with a young running back, give him support. Number 5, where do the Giants go?
Real quick, I just cannot fathom a world where the best player in the draft is available at 4 and a team goes running back over him. I get that. I get it. I get that it could happen. I just can't see it. But anyways, Jake, here you go. Bum 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 bum.
With the 5th pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the New York Giants select Arvell Reese, Ohio State. Couldn't let him go any farther. They are running that pick into the draft in Harbaugh fashion, where he just came from, the Baltimore Ravens. What always happens with the Ravens? The best player falls in their lap. That continues. They get Arvell Reese. They're very happy about it. However, they almost picked a different player who they're going to get at 10, which we'll get into. But they are thrilled to get Arvell Reese.
Yeah, if I'm the Giants, I'm sitting back, ordering some steak and lobster and celebrating profusely the rest of the night. This is by far, I think, I don't know by far, but I do think Arvell Reese is the best player in the draft. He's, I think, the most physically gifted player in the draft. He's an absolute mammoth. He's not old at all. He's a young player, and what he did at Ohio State specifically this year, is almost unprecedented. He has the potential to be an absolute beast in the league, and this would be a great Harbaugh first pick.
Yeah, this also would go to show that they murdered the trade with the Bengals, that you get Arvell Reese at 5, and then at 10, and I'm not going to speculate here, Jake, but you have your plethora of picks between receivers, safeties, linebackers. You could still go O-line at 10. I would be over the moon ecstatic if I'm New York and Arvell Reese is there at 5. And I'm with Hunter. Steak, lobster, baked potato, Brussels sprouts, mac and cheese with bacon bits on top of it. Asparagus, yeah, give me everything. That is the pick of the night if the Giants get Arvell Reese without trading up.
Yeah, I agree.
My cousin, Gavin Hibb, shout out to you because I know you listen, was the first person to put me on Arvell Reese last year. In the last one of the last home games, he came up, was there. He goes, dude, number 8, bro. Remember number 8. I'm like, or whatever number it was at that time. I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, this dude is going to be a monster. I'm telling you. I don't know if he just got lucky. I don't know if he's a genie, but boy, was he right. And I agree that Arvell Reese is probably the best player in the draft. And even more importantly, I think when you're picking at this high of a level, he has the most potential in the draft. He has that Micah Parsons situation where he can stand up, where he can go on the line, and he's just a Swiss Army knife defensively, but he's just really good at everything. So if he gets the right coaching, which I believe he will, it's gonna be scary on the defensive side of the football in New York.
This is a spot where I almost had a trade here because this screams, like you said, Micah Parsons, Jerry Jones wanting to get that back, and Arvell Reese. They have the ammo to do it with 12 and 20. I will say best case scenario would be Arvell Reese continues to fall and the Browns are picking at 6, because then you're
Take
most
'em.
certainly, or take them, or you're most certainly getting a call to trade back, and then you're going to get a great trade back scenario if you really want to. If you don't want to pass
I don't care. If the best player in the draft falls to you, you take him. Could you imagine
take the Browns?
Arvell Reese and Carson Schlesinger? I at that point, Shedeur could maybe start and lead us to the playoffs because he'd need 6 points a game.
You think if Arvell's there at 6, do you think
I sprint to the podium.
We should or do?
You fire Barry on the spot if he doesn't take him.
Hold on. I think we save that. I think we save that for our Browns last 20 minutes of the podcast, and then we'll talk about
You're
some
right.
things.
You're right.
Hit the music. We have to get moving a little bit.
I'm sorry, I was off key. Bum 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 ba-da-dum bum bum.
Here we go, boys. With the 6th pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the Cleveland Browns select Carnell Tate, receiver, Ohio State.
Love it. That's a great pick.
This is one where I couldn't take my own bias out of it because I think this has to be the pick, but we'll get to that later. Browns, huge Holt receiver. They get the safest receiver in the draft from Ohio State, the safest university in the country. You get Carnell Tate, you get your dude, and the Browns finally get a big receiver, something they haven't had, a good big receiver since Josh Gordon.
Can I
You gotta
start?
take
I'll
him.
be quick.
Yeah.
Do I? Yeah, I mean, Whoopi, I'd be thrilled. My God, I'll put my life that this doesn't happen. But man, I'd
Your
be happy.
life?
I would be happy. We're not getting Carnell Tate.
Because you think he goes earlier, or you just don't think we're drafting him?
I just don't think we draft him or we trade back and he's going to be gone. I would almost bet my willy on that. I would be baffled if Carnell Tate is a Brown by the end of the night tomorrow. I would be ecstatic. Don't get me wrong. I would be thrilled. I do think Carnell Tate's the best receiver in the country. Do the Browns pick him at 6? I do not believe so. I hope to get him wrong. Maybe this is me just being like not trying to get my hopes up, but I don't think it's happening.
I mean, we'll see. I would love the pick. I think he's the best receiver in the draft, too. I think the only comparable receiver is Jordan Tyson, and obviously he has the injury concerns. I know Mekhi Lemon he's the number 1 receiver in the big board, which that just doesn't make sense to me. I like
Is he
Mekhi
really?
Lemon. Yeah, and I like Mekhi Lemon, but I mean, I've watched a lot of Mekhi Lemon, and I just don't see it. I don't see a scenario where he is a better wide receiver than Carnell Tate or Jordan Tyson, for that matter. But back to the pick. If the Browns get Carnell Tate at 6, it's one of those you leave the draft pretty happy. Obviously, that's a glaring need on your roster. Jerry Jeudy cannot continue to be wide receiver 1. I'm not even sure he's a wide receiver 3. So you
Oh,
had Cardinal Tate. You finally get a good receiver. And also Andrew Barry, he does it wrong every single year. He always picks the wrong receivers every single year. He cannot do it correctly. Ohio State is the guarantee. They never put out a bad wide receiver, ever. You are guaranteed one. So if you want to change your fortune, you take Cardinal Tate. And I hope the Browns make that decision tomorrow night.
I would agree.
you guys summed it up. I think Cardinal Tate's the best receiver in the draft, the most pro-ready receiver in the draft. He has the best hands. He's the best at making contested catches in tight spaces, and watching Brown's quarterback play, he's going to have to do that at least his first couple seasons till that issue's addressed. To me, it's a home run. You just got to swing the bat.
The thing is, I saw a stat earlier today saying Jordan Tyson's missed like 34% of his college games. And I do like Tyson a lot. I don't know what my reaction would be if we took him at 6. Like I think I'd be happy, but I think I would be really skeptical. There's just a lot of concerns with him that scare me. But yeah, I mean, I hope it's Tate.
All right. Next pick in the draft.
Bum 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 bum.
With the 7th pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the Washington Commanders select Sonny Styles, linebacker, Ohio State. This one, head coach is Dan Quinn. Their defense is horrible. They need some youth. One of the Ohio State guys is still there. They're taking them. Maybe not the biggest, huge need, possibly. They could have gone receiver, but they're taking the safe pick. They're going to take Sonny Styles. And Carter, I'm going to kick it to you because this is where I wanted Sonny Styles to actually go 4, but the draft did not work that way. But I think you were alluding to it before.
I think Sonny Styles and Robert Saleh are a match made in heaven. I think Sonny Styles would get the best coaching from him because Saleh's defense depends so heavily on linebacker play, as we've seen with his time, specifically with the 49ers. I mean, that's when Warner broke onto the scene. And Sonny Styles, this term is thrown around a lot. He might be a generational prospect at the linebacker position. His vertical jump, his speed, his size. I mean, I actually played him once in basketball, and I'll never forget this. This is my claim to fame as a very unathletic male myself, especially in NFL terms. Drove down the lane, scored a layup, do the same move the next possession, get right to the lane. I'm like, like I'm good. Like maybe I can compete with these dudes. Sonny Styles, we watched on film because it was literally everywhere. Took 2 steps from the 3-point line and blocked me on the top of like the white window on the backboard on the opposite block and 2 steps. It was insane, and he was 17 years old in high school. Now he's only going to fill out even more. He's been through a college weightlifting program and is now going to be in the NFL, spending millions of dollars on his body to make him the most peak athletic version of himself. I think he's going to be a great pick wherever he goes. I would argue in some instances that he could be the 2nd or 3rd best defensive player on the board. I actually think it's the 3 Ohio State guys overall. Maybe that's crazy to say. I don't know. Great pick if the Commanders can get him at 7.
Yeah, not much to say here. Sonny Styles is an absolute animal. He's really good. I don't have much to say.
I think I'll be very quick on this. I think this is one of those picks where you just kind of sit back and you're like, nice. That's a good pick. It doesn't blow you away, but you're also like, that's not gonna screw them up. I like it. I think it'd be a great pick for the Commanders.
Just staring at this board, is it a little bit of an indictment on Ryan Day that we're looking at this top 10 and there's Buckeyes all over and,
I think if anything,
success,
if anything, it's an indictment on how bad the college football playoff system is. Should go back to 4 teams or go back to 2 teams, but nonetheless, Indiana was the best team in college football. They won the national championship because they were. the national championships. But no, Jake, thank you for giving me that opportunity to preach to the choir that everybody agrees with me now, which is great. How awful the college football playoff system is with it being 12 teams, the bye weeks. It's all bad.
8th pick in the draft, Jackson, music.
Bum, 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 ba-da-dum, bum, bum.
With the 8th pick in the 2026 NFL draft, the New Orleans Saints select Reuben Short Arms Bain. His big
Who
thing,
drafted him? Who's 8?
the Saints.
That fits. Yeah, that checks out.
Someone, I don't know what I was listening to, but they said that if Bain's arms weren't so tiny, he would be the 2nd pick in the draft. Like no questions asked. But just because his arms are in the 1 percentile of length, that he's not being picked, which I think is insane.
Well, I
Yeah.
think it's more than just that now. I think there's a few other issues than just his arm length.
No, but like that really, when you read into his thing, that's not really playing that much of an impact. There's not a lot of buzz, which is crazy to me because I know it should, but there hasn't been a lot of like people saying that's impacting where he's going.
So there's a couple things with Reuben Bain that have come up in the media that I'm going to ask you guys if you've seen, and we can talk about them if you have. If you haven't, I'll explain it. Number one, did you see the picture comparison between him and Arvell Reese? They were doing a bag drill where the defensive end rounds the corner, and it's basically like how you bend the corner rushing a tackle. Did any of you guys see this picture? This was like maybe a week and a half ago now. Arvell Reese is probably, if this is the bag's height, he's probably like in the middle, like his head level, in an athletic stance. Reuben Bain's head is literally like this. Now, initially, everyone in the comments is arguing about, well, what's the right technique? When would Reuben Bain ever be in a position? I'm talking like his face, like he's literally parallel. I can't even reenact it sitting down here, but it's like literally parallel with the ground. His entire chest, too. So there's concerns about his technique, arguing whether if it'll work in the NFL or not, especially with his shorter arms that, came out. Is that the technique he has to use? Does he have to get that low to the ground in order essentially to get his way around some of these tackles? The other thing that I think is much more prevalent is the fact that not a single person has mentioned that he was involved in an incident that ended in someone dying.
I think I brought that up.
No, I know you, but like I'm talking main media, like ESPN. Laramie Tunsil, I was like, what, 14? Got
Legendary picture.
Got a picture of him with a gas mask on, and you would have thought the world is ending. He slid what?
Yeah.
18 picks or something like that?
That is so true.
But Reuben Bain kills. I don't want to say he kills someone, but
he did not. We cannot say that.
I'll sue you.
He was
manslaughter.
Involved in an incident where someone died.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you, Jacob. Say that.
I don't even. Is it crazy that I haven't even heard about this?
That's my point. How is that not a character issue?
Because Carter, I honestly believe the short arms takes the precedent here. I think people are more concerned with the short arms than possible murder.
Yeah,
I think the short arms are so short that
and Jake, I understand that, but you can't demonstrate if you can play football with short arms if you're in prison.
Can someone give me a brief synopsis of this?
I honestly don't know a ton of details.
He was in a car.
Basically, go ahead, Carter.
He was in a car that hit another car, and that car's driver, if I'm not mistaken, Jack, you can correct me.
No, it was the passenger. It was Reuben Bain's passenger. She got injured and died 3 months later from the injuries.
Yes. Okay. My bad. It was the passenger.
This was in 2024, by the way. This happened in 2024.
And there was nothing.
Which I think shows you the society we're in now today, that the biggest story with Reuben Bain is his arms are short, not he was driving and his passenger died. Like, football really is king in America. It's can you play ball? And if you can, we can overlook other issues. I mean, we see it with O.J. Simpson, right? We excuse those murders. We see it with Remember the Titans, right? We get rid of racism so we can have a good football team. Okay. That's essentially America. Football's king. If you are good at football, we can overlook any other issue you have.
And it's pretty interesting. Well, yes, like I want to say that, but then I also see like I get an alert every time someone from Georgia gets a speeding ticket. I'm like,
What?
how oh, he got pulled over going 35 over. That's horrible, but at least it didn't
Sounds like
result.
Shadur.
At least it didn't result in the injury of
And
someone.
Miles. Sounds like Miles. Yeah.
Yeah, but Miles is good at football, so we can excuse it.
Exactly. Miles King. I think I think that this plays a little part into it. I think him having short arms may have actually saved him a little bit because everyone is so focused on him having these like penguin arms that no one's focused on that he murdered or sorry was involved in an incident where someone died.
He's like a
Fascinating.
what's that? Like a T-Rex.
Yeah.
So, like they run
his
around like
T-Rex
this.
arms. Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Interesting.
Um,
Interesting.
O'Neal, music.
Bum 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 ba-da-dum bum bum.
With the 9th pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the Kansas City Chiefs select Mansour Delane. I think I said that his name wrong, but
Oh,
best corner in the draft. I don't know, it's a new pick. Best corner in the draft. That's the biggest issue of need. They just traded their best corner first round pick. They're going to take the best corner in the draft. That's the safest corner in the draft as well. They could have gone with another pick that I guess we may not get to the top 10, but he has like injury concerns from Tennessee. But they're going to take the best corner in the draft in Delane from LSU.
do you guys remember Marcus Gilbert?
Mm-hmm.
Don't know why. I think he's the next Marcus Gilbert.
Marcus Gilbert or Justin Gilbert?
I don't know. Whatever the hell the corner was that the Browns drafted that played like 4
Justin.
games.
Justin Gilbert.
Justin Gilbert.
Yes.
Wow,
no,
that's
the-
a poll right there.
That's the best take you've had today. I completely agree with you. I don't like
Now,
him at
if you're-
all. I think it's a bad pick for the Chiefs too.
If you're gonna ask me for reasoning, I'm not gonna give it to you because I don't have any. All feel.
Hold on, I'm the exact same way.
I just think he's gonna suck.
He doesn't feel like he's a good corner. And I'll say this too: if you're Kansas City and you're at 9, I still think a top 3 player in the draft is on the board, and you didn't take
I
him
would
right
agree.
there.
I would agree. I would completely agree.
I'm on board.
God, Justin Gilbert was horrible. Oh my god.
He's getting some,
He literally
he's
played
getting
like
some war.
preseason. Oh my
He's
god, he
getting
was
some war
so bad.
flashbacks. He just rage. We just watch a man rage bait himself.
So bad.
Oh, I wish. Oh, actually, we do have that on camera. I'm definitely clipping that somewhere. The moment of realization on your face when you realize what you just compared this dude to. Justin Gilbert, man. Gosh, the things the Browns have given us. All right, Jacob.
I will say, with the player that hasn't been named yet, that you say is a top 3 player in the draft, he's not going to be named here. So I'm just going to tell you this then. But this is also a trade up spot where I think he would have been taken, but we're not doing trade downs. But the way the board was laid out. But Jackson, music, please.
Bum 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 bum.
With the 10th pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the New York Giants select Jordan Tyson, receiver, Arizona State. I hate this pick, but all the buzz is saying the Giants are taking Jordan Tyson. I don't hate. I love the player. I don't like the Giants taking him. I think they have other needs where they can focus on. But
If this is the New York Giants draft, I would take a bow. I don't think you could do a better job here at 5 and 10. I would now, since he's not going here, I would have taken Caleb Downs. If I could have
I
turned
agree.
Dexter Lawrence into Arvell Reese and Caleb Downs
I agree.
for John Harbaugh, oh my goodness.
Yeah, I agree.
But I have no problem with Tyson, and you're getting Malik Neighbors back. So if you have Malik Neighbors, Jordan Tyson, Jackson Dart, that should be a great offense. And then hopefully just for the game of football, Scadaboo's back in his full self.
Yeah.
Either way, it's a really exciting time to be a Giants fan. Whether you go Downs here, you're gonna have a great defense, or if you go Jordan Tyson. Just my concern with Jordan Tyson is now your offense is the most injury-prone offense in the NFL.
Yeah.
Jackson Dart, maybe
And
the most
that's the
injury-prone
issue.
quarterback. Tyson, Neighbors, injury-prone receivers, and then Scadaboo. He's already had a couple bad injuries, and he's old, for a second year, and he's a hefty boy for a running back, more to take care of. But nonetheless, New York, that's going to be that's
I'm-
exciting. The Giants being an exciting team will be fun.
I'm
I
glad
agree.
you mentioned that, and that's my biggest issue with this pick. MetLife turf.
It's
The
horrible.
stories about MetLife turf have just been horrible.
And
Tyson's injuries have all been related to that type of movement. If he goes to New York, I'm going to feel so bad for him because he's going to start off. They're going to be 3-1. Him and Neighbors popping off, and then I don't want to even say it. However, I will make a quick edit to the mock draft. Just looking at it more, I'm switching Bane with Downs. Downs going to go 8 to the Saints.
Yeah. I don't know if I see a world where Downs falls outside the top 10.
Correct, and that's why I was looking at more. I'm like, I think Bane's better fit, or I don't know. I think it's a bigger need, but then we're gonna move Downs to the Saints, and he'll take over for the retired
that.
Matthew.
I think Caleb Downs overall is a top, like Jack said, probably top 3 player in the draft. Maybe a crazy take here. Well, actually, we'll get to that later. But I do think Downs, if he went top 5, wouldn't surprise me. If he falls outside of the top 10, I would be shocked.
So I have a theoretical for you guys staying in the NFC East. I think it would be a bad decision for the Giants to take Love at 5. I'm anti that, especially with Scatabo coming back. And you can find running backs nowadays, a plug-and-play running back. I mean, we saw Rico Dowdle last year go ballistic for the Panthers. Like, there's talent to be found at that specific position that can be streamlined for a season before you make a long-term replacement.
I agree.
If you're Jerry Jones, you're looking at the Eagles, who even if they lose A.J. Brown, they actually might get better without the locker room drama. You're looking at the Giants, who got 2 picks now in the top 10 with an elite coach now coming in who knows how to get to the playoffs at the minimum. That's the minimum you can say about John Harbaugh. Are you looking at your defense that couldn't stop a traffic cone last year, and are you thinking, it's time, we got to make a move? Do you guys see the Cowboys, and I know Jake, I think, mentioned this earlier, trading up into the top 7-ish area and taking a guy like Arvell Reese or Sonny
100%.
Styles?
100%.
I
think
don't see a world where we don't see
Cowboys
that.
trade
Yeah,
up.
yeah, I agree.
Not only do they trade up, I think it might be with the Browns, to be quite honest with you. There's been a lot of buzz around the Cowboys and the Browns potentially making a move together. I'd be surprised if Jerry Jones did not walk away with one of the Ohio State boys tomorrow, to be quite honest. I think the likelihood of him trading up is much higher than it is him just staying there, because that's just what Jerry Jones does. He likes to make these big, flashy moves. I think all the Ohio State guys are big, flashy, big-name studs.
I think he has to. Like, I don't think it's just like this is what Jerry does. Like,
it seems so fitting.
If the Cowboys are going to continue to press on with Dak and CD and George Pickens in this offense,
that would be an issue, though. Do you see Pickens not accepting his contract?
No, I saw that. Yeah,
Pickens was a top 5 receiver this year.
They franchise tagged him.
Yeah, I wouldn't accept that either if I were him. But I'm saying, just in general, if you're going to push for, like, the window is now, and you were horrendous defensively. Like, there's no other way to say it. They were horrible, which made me happy because I can't stand the Cowboys, specifically their fans. Which, honestly, the more I think about it, and this is going to be a crazy take here, the Cowboys remind me of my relationship, meaning my viewing experience of Taylor Swift. I actually don't know if I mind the Cowboys or Taylor Swift, but their supporters can't do it. Every year, Super Bowl, Super Cowboys. I don't know, Connor Williams, Charlie Hagan. Have you seen their Instagram stories recently? Oh my goodness.
I blocked him.
Oh my goodness. The draft's coming up. Who's joining the Super Cowboys this year? They're going to the Super Bowl. And then week 8, when they're like 6-2, Super Bowl, Super Cowboys. And then it's like, week 15 and they're just below 500, about to miss out on the playoffs. Maybe that's a crazy take. I don't know. It's just
it is. It's statements like that make me miss Ryan Mays' one episode on the podcast that we had to take down, because I hate Taylor Swift. I think she's horrible. I don't like her as a person. I think her her early stuff was okay. Her new stuff is garbage. I mean, 10 years in, it's absolutely clear she's a problem. She's an issue. I think you can make
billions
an
would
argument
disagree, by the way.
That's fine. That's fine. There were a lot of people in World War II that supported up foreign things. That's
Jack's
fine.
not here. Jack's not here to be loved
There's
by
a
the
lot.
world.
There's a lot of. There were a lot of
Mm.
medical people in the 70s that argued that lobotomies were a great idea, and those people were idiots. Okay, so the masses. Look, you can never say because the masses agree with something that
Jack-
it's inherently correct or truthful, right? So
Jackson, thoughts
no,
on
I hate
thoughts
to.
on the sexual revolution.
Oh God,
Horrible.
what?
Destroyed society. So, anyways,
What
Taylor
are you,
Swift,
What are
awful.
you
Dallas,
doing?
Dallas Cowboys, awful. They're both terrible. I think it is a good mix, though, of both hating their supporters and also just hating the product, if you could call Taylor Swift a product in comparison with the Dallas Cowboys. Both are terrible, right? You can say both the product is bad, the Cowboys are annoying, Jerry Jones is annoying, the city's, all of it's annoying. Same way you can say Taylor Swift's annoying, but then you can also say their supporters are also just as annoying and just as bad. Does that make sense?
Thank you. That was good.
You're welcome. Shout out Ryan. I miss you, Ryan.
So just to recap: Mendoza, Bailey, Malinoa, Love, Arvel Reese, Carnell Tate, Sonny Styles, Caleb Downs, Lenore Delane, Jordan Tyson. Should we now do just like sleepers that we like in the rest of the first round, or do we go straight to rounds 20?
I think maybe a quick sleepers, like 1 to 2 minutes, and then jump into the Browns.
Would anybody like to start? I have my safest pick that I think just automatic star.
Can I give you 3 quick, and then I'll shut up?
Yeah, go.
There's 3 that I like. I love D'Angelo Pons out of Indiana. I think he's the best corner in the draft. I'm a huge fan of D'Angelo Pons. Eli Stowers, tight end Vanderbilt. Here's my thought with Stowers. He's not Kyle Pitts. That's not what I'm about to say with this analogy. But he reminds me a lot of Kyle Pitts in the sense I think that Kyle Pitts is the only reason anyone gave Kyle Trask a look in the draft. I thought Kyle Trask was a terrible quarterback. And in games that Kyle Pitts did not play at Florida, Kyle Trask was terrible. I think that Eli Stowers was the best target for Diego Pavia and was the biggest impact on that offense. Okay, and I think it's the only reason Pavia gets any notability because of how good Eli Stowers is. And I think Stowers is going to be great in the NFL. I also think that's kind of comparable with Mike Evans and Johnny Manziel, right? Had Mike Evans not been on the Texas A&M roster, I don't think Johnny is anywhere near as good as what he was in college. The last one I'm going to say, he will not be a first-round pick, but I don't care, and you guys will all love this too. Drew Aller, man, I'm excited to see where he goes. He's a great quarterback, great person, no red flags, smart. He's got a perfect frame for the NFL, strong arm, he's accurate. I don't think his time at Penn State is a good representation of the type of quarterback he is. I think with an NFL coach, we saw what happened with James Franklin, no disrespect, but obviously that's a tough way to end.
Yeah.
Also, you get the NFL, you're going to have a significantly better line around you, although he had a great line and great running backs at Penn State. I can't wait to see him around NFL receivers. I think give him a year or two in the right system. I think Drew can be spectacular in the NFL.
Yeah. I'll go next year. I'll go kind of quick too. I'll just touch on Aller because he was also kind of one of my other ones. I think Aller has the most physical capabilities of any quarterback in this draft, in my opinion. I do agree. Like you said, what he did at Penn State, I don't think is a full reflection of the player he could potentially be. Now, I know he's been getting compared to Josh Allen since he was like a junior in high school. He does remind me of like a Josh Allen a little bit in that sense. Like I think the comparison's pretty spot on. Just his frame, his arm power, or remind me of a young raw Allen. So I hope he gets put in a good situation. I'll give you 2 others that Jack didn't say. Jacob Rodriguez, like I said, out of Texas Tech, he was an absolute baller. He's been good all year. I know he's projected, I think, 3rd round right now. I think he should be late first, to be honest, maybe 2nd round. I would love if the Browns got him maybe in the 3rd. He's one of those guys that just dominated. He absolutely dominated, and I don't really see a reason why he's been kind of falling this far. And then the last guy, I'll give you a MAC player here. Give me Emmanuel McNeil Warren. That safety out of Toledo, he's 6'4", he's 215, he's massive, he's unbelievably physical. I've been watching some tape on him. I would love if the Browns took him at 24. That would make me very happy. He is unbelievably physical. I think he's a first-round pick. A lot of people don't like him as a first-round pick. They're like, how the hell is a Toledo guy in the first round? I think he's deserving of that first-round mock, and I'd be very happy to have him.
You want the Browns to draft a safety, not named Caleb Downs?
Well, if we took down to 6, that's a different story. But I would like McNeil Warren. I think he fits the physical framework that the Browns are trying to build. We'll talk about the Browns later and what I think we might do. But yeah, I'd be happy with him.
I will say somehow Toledo just produces these great studs on defense. So who knows? BG beat him this year, by the way. My 2 players. I'm going to start with another Medina County, close Medina County boy, but that's not Jarrell. I'm going to go Blake Miller from Clemson. I think out of the tackles, he's the most kind of under the radar, but I think is the safest pick when you get to like the Caden Proctors, the Lomus of the world, the dude from Arizona State, whose last name I'm going to try to pronounce. And then I think Freeling's a little bit higher than him, but I think Blake Miller's right there. So I would love the Browns to nag him. I'm gonna go my UConn boy, Skylar Bell, just uncoverable at UConn. Now, UConn, but he still put up great numbers. No one could guard him. I think in the right spot, he can excel. But I'll keep it there. I'll say also safest pick in the draft is the guard from Penn State. Whoever gets him, he's gonna play for 15 years and be an all pro.
Oh, Iovone or something like that.
Yeah, I won't even try to pronounce his name.
Yeah,
Jake, real quick, this is funny. The 2 guys you mentioned in Blake Miller and Skylar Bell, I wouldn't touch them with a 10-foot pole. I hate them. I just thought those are 2. I'm not even kidding. Those are 2 of my least favorite guys in the entire draft. So I think that's very. I'm very excited to see how they turn out now.
Jake, I actually have the same safe player with the Penn State guard that I was going to make the joke 'cause you all know I suck at names. But my player is Jadarian Price. Notre Dame was a running back committee this year, which I didn't find out until I started watching Notre Dame late in the season, especially with their playoff hunt race situation with Miami, and got to watch a couple other games on the stretch. He's very good. He's overshadowed by Love and the freak of nature that Love is and the talent that he is, but Price will make a very, very immediate impact, I think, on the right team. And if he can be a plug and play type of guy, and like I said, in the right situation, even like maybe a Giant situation where you can get him later in the draft to help support some of the load, and so Scatabo gets CTE maybe a couple years later than he's on pace to right now. A team like that, I like Price in that situation.
Now, hell must have frozen over because I love that take from Carter. He's Jadarian Price, my biggest sleeper running back in the entire draft. I love him. I think he's fantastic.
All right. How long do we want to dedicate what are we thinking here for the Browns? Because this could go 3 hours.
I could do a full 3-hour podcast on just the Browns draft.
Hour 15, we call it. So 13 minutes.
Okay. Can I give my quick spiel on who I believe the pick has to be?
Yes.
Yeah. Go. Yeah.
That'll be a
do
good
like
start.
a 3-minute. Yeah.
Okay. So obviously the Browns need 1 of 2 positions. It's either going to be receiver or tackle. Has to be. If it's anything other than that, I think that things have gone disastrously wrong. I look at tackle. There's some very solid guys, but I would say it's an overall pretty deep class. Because if we can get either Miller, Amaganoa, you could go Monroe Freeling, all dudes that you kind of like. Other than Carnell Tate, and you can throw in Jordan Tyson there, but injury history, is there a single receiver that you think could be the dude for the Browns?
Skylar Bell from UConn.
Oh gosh.
See, that's a place where Skylar Bell's
What are our thoughts? I know I don't think they're that good. What are our thoughts on Surratt and Cooper, the Indiana guys?
Love them. Love them both.
Really?
Yes, but I don't think they're the dude. We need a dude. We need like the top head honcho.
We need a 3rd and 7. I'm going to this guy.
Surratt or Omar Cooper. I think. Give me 10 seconds here.
Why did you
I thought about this a lot. I think with Elijah Surratt and Omar Cooper, you know who they remind me a lot of? And before you react, just give me a second to get this point across. Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson. And I say that because I don't think they are the same player as those two. I don't. I want to make that clear. But LSU went undefeated and won the national championship. Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, and Justin Jefferson. Indiana, same thing, and I would argue a significantly harder national championship. Mendoza, Omar Cooper, Elijah Surratt. When you think of Indiana and you think of LSU, you're always going to think LSU is more sexy than Indiana. So you're going to give those guys a little more benefit of the doubt. When you look at Indiana, even though they're 16-0 national championships, you don't look at that and you're like, that's not very sexy to me. Nonetheless, I think those two are significantly better than where they are mocked. And I think they can both be wide receiver ones in the NFL. Anyways, Jake.
That I don't see a world where they can be, maybe for a certain team they can maybe get there, but especially early on they're wide receiver twos, and the Browns are in such desperate need of the guy, wide receiver one, need a hit on a dude.
We need a 30-second.
Already depth at tackle. The pick has to be Carnell Tate.
We need a 30-second timeout. There is absolutely no way you just compared those two to Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase.
I just said I don't think they're the same player, but I think the similarities are there and that they can both be wide receiver ones.
Interesting take. I'm going to have to disagree with that.
Are there other similarities other than they were undefeated teams?
Yeah, like...
No.
So stupid.
But I'm saying, like, when LSU...
Proceed.
I'm just saying if Indiana was a sexier team than, Indiana, I think those two are mocked significantly higher.
If Indiana beat everyone by 400 points and had the most prolific scoring offense and a quarterback that had the greatest passing season potentially in college football history,
well, that's not a Cignetti offense, but that's an Ed Orgeron offense.
Yes, because he had arguably the two best receivers in the league and arguably a top 2 quarterback in the league. And arguably the greatest quarterback ever in college football history. You could make that argument for Joe Burrow after that one sole season. So, Jacob, Carnell Tate, someone make a thought off that. Let's get back on. Let's get the train back on
What were you
tracks.
going to say?
I was just going to say, you mentioned Indiana, another sleeper that I really like, Pat Coogan, late round. Also, I forgot, this was also one of my other guys, real sleeper. I would love the Browns to draft him maybe 5th, 6th round. The guy to John Carroll, Tyler Montgomery, is an absolute beast. I know he's a Division III football player. If we drafted him, that would be kind of awesome. Here's what I was going to say. I don't want to go receiver at 6. I would personally, if we do, I'd be happy. I'm totally fine with that. I personally would rather go tackle, only because I think tackle is a little bit harder to come by than receiver is, in my opinion. I would love Malinois at 6. I see a world where maybe we go a Tate and we get a Monroe Freeling. I'm a big fan of Monroe Freeling as well. He's my number 2 in the class personally. If we got him at 24, maybe we trade up a little bit and snag him. I would be thrilled with a Monroe Freeling Carnell Tate duo, or with a Carnell Tate and I don't know. I'd love to go Malinois at 6. That's my guy. He's my number 1. If we got Malinois, I'd be really happy. If he's not available, I think you go Tate. If Tate's gone or we trade back, I don't hate a Monroe Freeling at 12. Honestly, with the Cowboys, I would draft him probably about as high as 12 or 13. I'm a big Freeling fan. On top of that, I think with our 24 pick, 24-39 is where it gets interesting. I don't know what we do there. Like I said, I think there's a realistic scenario we kind of go safety and take the Toledo kid. Honestly, I'd kind of be happy with it. He's unbelievably physical. And on top of that, I would love the Downs at 6. I know it's not realistic. I'm aware that it's probably not going to happen, but if we drafted one of the Ohio State boys, I would kind of be thrilled. That's my spiel.
We gotta throw the ball.
My only that's my only question is, I get it. I'm obviously a massive fan of Ohio State football and of specifically the 3 defensive players. You know me, run the ball, stop the run. But unfortunately, Jacob is correct. We have to throw to someone. Someone has to catch the football, and more importantly, someone has to block for the dude throwing the football. Even if you think the throwing the football guy is horrible. someone,
agree.
you know what I mean? Like,
I agree, and those need to be addressed. I think tackle's harder to come by than receiver is, and I think Maunoa is a surefire 12-year left tackle starter that you can plug in and protect your quarterback.
here's my
I
fear
agree with
though.
that. The thing is, I agree with that, but I still think it has to be Tate because Barry has shown if it is not a complete 100%, we know this dude's a dude at receiver, he's going to get it wrong. If we do not draft Tate at 6, it's going to be Casey Concepcion at 24, and that's a world I don't want to live in.
We have a better chance of getting the tackle right at 24 than we do the wide receiver right at 24.
I could not agree.
I would agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just think Maunoa for me is more of a safe, complete pick than Tate is. I'm still a fan of Tate. Don't get me wrong. I don't hate drafting him, maybe trading up, taking Mekhi Lemon. I'm still a fan of Lemon. If Mekhi Lemon fell to 24, I would be ecstatic. I would love a Lemon late round. I don't want him top 10, but I am a fan of Mekhi Lemon. I think he's a stud.
I
Tyson,
like him too
Tyson,
as a
I think.
Ram. He's not a Brown because the Browns are not going to use him right. A small guy that Barry cannot draft small receivers. He's horrible.
Let's discuss a doomsday scenario.
Oh.
What is a doomsday scenario?
I have it. Are you ready?
Yeah, go.
What? Oh, yeah, go ahead. Just go ahead.
You go Ty Simpson at 6, Casey Concepcion at 24.
Oh my God.
Ty Simpson at 6.
I think there's a legitimate world where that happens.
I need the stage. I just need 30 seconds. I have been on the anti-hatred of Ty, and it's nothing against you personally, Ty, if you're seeing this. You sound like a great guy in most interviews. You are not very good at football. You're just not, especially at the pro level. And I think it was Hunter that was one of the three of you that said, oh, come on, Ty could be good. Ty's got a chance. And I brought up the game where he had like 4 interceptions against literally a no-name team. I don't even remember the team. It's like FIU or something like that. And Hunter tried to use some horrible excuse. I'll just bypass him off that now. Ty Simpson is horrible. That is the doomsday, Jackson. You're 100% correct. If we draft Ty Simpson at 6, we have it's essentially just kicking the rebuild another year down the road, which seems to be it's kicking the rebound. It's kicking the rebuild down the road without making a trade to like try to get better. If that's a weird way to say it. Like at least with Watson, it crashed and burned. And I can't believe we're in a scenario where we might have to watch him play football again. But at least we were trying. Right? At least he had shown something. Ty Simpson hasn't shown anything. There's not a single thing you look at. It's not accuracy. It's not arm strength. It's not scrambling ability. It's just like, man, he was an upper echelon quarterback in the SEC.
In
a down year for quarterbacks in college football.
I would disagree with that a little bit, but go ahead, Jacob.
Silver lining here. And this is the only I agree with everything you just said, Carter. However, this pick, the only thing that I would like about this pick is, Jackson, what is it?
No Shedeur.
No Shedeur. Shedur's out if we draft Ty Simpson. Only silver lining.
Carter, Shedeur or Ty?
Shedeur. Because we don't have to spend a pick on Shedeur. It's Shedeur by miles.
It's not Shedeur by miles.
We've already done it though. You have to waste the 6.
If you want to accelerate the rebuild, you have to get rid of him as quickly as possible.
But you don't waste a 6 pick on him.
If that's what it takes, you most certainly do.
No.
Again, I think that is doomsday. I would not take Ty. Let me make that clear. I am in the anti-Ty Simpson at 6 train. I am anti. That said, I am pro anything that gets rid of Shedeur Sanders because that will accelerate the rebuild quicker than anything.
I would like to say I've been hearing buzz around Caden Proctor as well.
Can we get to the doomsday scenario? The second,
I've been hearing buzz around a Proctor.
The realistic doomsday scenario is, and this is very, very possible. I would put it at 25%.
I've heard some good amount of buzz around Proctor.
Caden Proctor at 6 and Casey Concepcion at 24.
Oh my
That
goodness.
means that we just went 0 for 2 on 2 first-round picks, and we have no receiver. We have DeJuan Jones 2.0. We already had Big Thanos. I don't know what we're going to call Proctor.
Yeah, that actually sounds horrible, and that's actually realistic.
It's very realistic. And
at that point, I'd rather just take a defensive player at 6.
Now, Jake, can I share just a couple things real quick? With this draft, I don't know who we're kidding. The Browns are going to come in last place next year. This offense is still abysmal. Shedeur Sanders is still not just the worst quarterback in the NFL. He's the worst quarterback in the NFL of the 21st century.
Well, that's
he
why
is
there's Watson.
legitimately no. Just give me a minute. He is legitimately horrific. And the unfortunate thing is the other two options on the roster are just as horrific. Deshaun Watson is horrible. I don't know what he's worse at, football or being a human being. And then Dylan Gabriel. Again, I think Dylan Gabriel, I honest to God believe this, and I think most Browns fans would agree with me. It's just the loud ones on Twitter that don't. I think Dylan Gabriel is maybe an inch better than Shedeur Sanders. Again, that is no endorsement of Dylan Gabriel. I think he's horrific. I think they're all horrific. This is far and away the worst team in the AFC North. It's not particularly close. So I'm not even opposed at 6. You're not winning a damn thing this year. I'm not opposed at 6. Give me the best available. That would not bother me in the slightest.
I don't hate it. I don't hate it. Like, if we drafted a Sonny or a Downs, I'd be like, they're awesome. They are going to be so good. Our defense, our opponents are going to average 4 points a game.
Here's-
if we draft
now-
average 2.
Now, I will say there is a move that could get me thinking from the Browns will unquestionably come in last place in the AFC North too. I would think by the end of the night tomorrow night that they were winning the division.
Sit up for this one, pause.
You take Carnell Tate at 6.
Yes.
You get to 24.
Mm.
You are not
This is
winning
doomsday
anything.
for me.
There is no. Doomsday is you do nothing to address the quarterback situation. The current quarterback buildup on the Cleveland Browns, I don't even think wins you 5 games this year. It is so horrifically awful.
We won 6 last year.
If you trade 24 for Mac Jones and your first round is Mac Jones and Carnell Tate, I am genuinely believing this team can win the division.
Super Bowl.
Super Browns.
I will say real quick,
Oh my
Carter, can you see a world where this team trades a first-round pick for a backup quarterback who has been a shit can in the league for the last 7 years?
Yes, because
Can
we're
you
the
believe
Browns.
that?
Because we're the Browns, we can do it. I
would be
just can't believe people are endorsing this. This is.
It shows you where we're at. It really shows.
Don't get me
you where
wrong.
we're at.
I
Let's
would
put
be
this into
much
perspective
happier-
here, though.
I would be much happier if we trade a second and we can take. Now, I feel like I'm getting greedy. If we can get Carnell Tate and then say Monroe Freeling and then the second round picks Mac Jones,
Super
that
Bowl.
would make my heart just
Perfect.
flutter. That would be the greatest possible thing we
That
could
cannot
do.
be any better. And then you draft Drew Aller in the 5th. I mean,
Oh,
and suddenly your quarterback room goes from
Do you then
it goes from a bunch of mines and short
hold on,
Hawaiian
hold on.
lefties.
Why don't we find out what Whedon and
to-
Blake
hold on.
Bortles
Everyone
are up
Mac
close their
to?
Jones
eyes.
and
Everyone
then
close their eyes.
Mr. Good Guy for the locker room, Drew Aller.
Everyone close their eyes.
Hold on. Jake is absolutely right on this point.
Everyone
If the
close their
Cleveland
eyes.
Browns leave the end of the draft with Carnell Tate, Monroe Freeling, and then you on top of that add Mac Jones as your quarterback, you then add Drew Aller to be his backup, and you get rid of Shedeur and you get rid of Watson, and you say, sayonara, Dylan, you might win the Super Bowl.
that's a ball club.
All right. Everyone close their eyes real quick. Everyone close their eyes. I need a scenario. Bum 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 bum. With the 6th pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the Cleveland Browns select Carnell Tate. Whoop. Okay. Nope. Eyes stay closed. Eyes stay closed. Eyes stay closed. With the number 24 pick in the NFL Draft, the Cleveland Browns select Monroe Freeling. At pick 39, there's been a trade. The Cleveland Browns have traded their 2nd-round pick to the San Francisco 49ers for McCorkle Jones. Now, no, eyes stay closed. Eyes stay closed. Hold up. We've two
Hunter,
more. Eyes stay
I'm
closed.
giddy.
Eyes stay
I'm so
closed.
giddy right now. I'm doing a little dance. I'm so happy.
Oh, all right. So we fast forward. Drafts over. Oh, this is tomorrow. So we're now on to Friday. We then get an alert. Bzz, 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 bzz. The Cleveland Browns have now cut Deshaun Watson, Shedeur Sanders, and Dylan Gabriel, and Drew Aller is now drafted in the 5th round of the draft. Our quarterback room now consists of Drew Aller and McCorkle.
Pinch me, Hunter. Wake me up. Pinch me.
You can now wake up.
You know,
Why don't we
what-
see where Blake Bortles is at? Why don't we get him involved?
You know the meme where's the old dude that just goes absolute cinema? I mean, that's been the. I mean,
So
that
I have a
that
couple of
right
problems.
there would
That, Hunter,
legit
that's-
get me so excited. That's like Christmas morning at 4 years old, walking down that stairwell, seeing the Christmas tree and presents. That's how excited I would be to hear that news.
If we take 2 wide receivers in the first 2 picks and do not take a lineman, that's a fail in itself. Someone you have to block at some point.
Yes, Jackson.
I'm sorry. Hunter, who was the pick at 24?
Monroe Freeling.
Why is he talking about we're taking 2 wide receivers?
Monroe Freeling is a tackle from Georgia.
I know. Why Carter saying Nightmare's 2 wide receivers?
I think he's separating the two.
These are 2 different. I thought this was another.
I thought you were talking about Coop earlier. I'm going back to realistic scenarios here, not the McCorkle trade.
That's absolutely realistic.
Oh God.
And then we just cut our entire quarterback room.
Oh my gosh! If that happens, build the Barry statue. It was Stefanski's fault. That would even be great because then all of a sudden, all of Cleveland can get on board with Barry. But you know what, Andrew? I've been wrong about you. You were handcuffed by the evil man.
So to close us out here, this last question that I have. For the people that are pro take best defensive player available at 6.
I'm not pro, I'm not against.
If Tate's gone or whatever. My concern with that is we won 6 games last year with Shedeur Sanders and Dylan Gabriel. Think of them what you do. That's the reality that we live in. We won 6 games. By the grace of God, JOK will come back and play.
No,
I hope he does. I hope he does.
Let's not bank on it.
God can do a lot, but I don't think he's doing that.
But say he does. If he doesn't,
God
fine.
bless you.
Either way, if we added Caleb Downs, Sonny Styles, or Arvell Reese, whichever player is available, to this defense with Swess, with Myles Garrett, with the tackles that we always seem to, find that have been good, with Jim Schwartz, who is no longer there, but if they're playing his defensive style that is aggressive and upfront, because that's what Todd has said. I don't know if that's changed. Assuming that style is the same, this defense is only going to get better. And whether we like it or not, Shedeur and Dylan were rookies, and they're only going to get better. And
no, they're not. They're at their ceiling.
And even if they are,
last year was that is their ceiling.
Even if they are at their ceiling,
no, they are horrible. They do not get that. That's the best we'll ever see them play.
Even if they are at their ceiling, Watson is better than both of them.
Wrong. Watson, we're not sure if that's true. We haven't seen him play in 3 years.
Jackson, who would you want the Browns to start right now?
Hold on. Let me just finish my question.
Sorry, Carter.
Well,
I mean, I can't say anything. This is setting up.
It's such an unfortunate situation. You want to go with the trash can, the garbage can.
I'm just asking you the question because this is the reality we're living in. If we take a defensive player at 6, and we win 7,
your reality,
and we win 7 or 8 games, then we're in the same situation next year, the exact same, and we're not going to be high enough to pick a quarterback like you should desperately want to.
7 or 8 games.
Theoretically, we're going to win 6 or more.
No, and see, I hate that argument because that's never how the NFL works. Like the Commanders were just in the NFC Championship, and now they're picking in the top 10. You never know how things shake out. We're certainly no guarantee to win 1 or 2 more games.
Yeah,
I mean, close. I mean, think about the year the Browns added Odell Beckham Jr. The roster was exactly the same. They added Odell. They went 8-9 the year before. So you're thinking, okay, well, we went 8-9 the year before. The roster's exactly the same. They had one of the most prolific wide receivers in the NFL. Surely they're going to get better, and they went 6-10. I mean, it's the NFL. When I look at that roster, I see a 4-1 ball club. I don't see any scenario they get to 7 or 8.
But what'd you see last year? What'd you see last year, though?
I don't understand why Carter's making it such a point that they will win 7 to 8 games. We know
what our baseline is, though. With a horrible offense, we won 6 games.
But you could perform below the baseline, though. We're acting like you can't.
Yeah, but I'm saying, what if you perform above? Because your defense is getting better.
And what if you perform worse? That makes no sense to me.
Jackson, he's giving a scenario. He's giving in this reality where because the defense gets better, we win some more games.
Say if you don't want to win more, that's fine. Let's say we win the exact same. Let's say we win 6. What are you going to do? What do you do next year? You're not going to get Jeremiah Smith. He isn't falling that
Jones.
low. Oh my!
No,
oh my
Carter, I get it, and that's why
I agree with Jake, and I think me and Jake will be cheering
then,
for the same people tomorrow when we get to watch the draft together. You have to take a receiver. And specifically with this draft, if there was a clear cut number one tackle, which some people make the case for a bunch of different people, I think Tate's the clear one at wide receiver.
Problem,
and I think it's everyone else after him. And so I think you have to take him. You have to.
That's the difference. Is the problem is I'm not sure Tate's the clear one. I'm much more comfortable with every single defensive player on that board than I am with Tate. I like Tate. I think he can.
But what is
really
that defensive player doing? Is what I'm asking.
Hunter,
we're just
I'm not
repeating.
sold on Tate. I'm sold on the Ohio State defensive players. I'm sold. They are going to be studs. I'm sold. Tate, I think can be good.
How are you going to put the ball in the end zone?
Carter, we're not
going
to do it.
We're not
going to do it regardless.
We're not figuring out.
Yeah,
this
but you
year,
have to start building an offense. It's not just the quarterback either.
But we can do it without Tate. We can do it via trade. We can do it via free agency. We can address receiver another way. Receiver is so deep across the NFL. Yes. We can have someone perform that's not
Barry. You think so?
Receiver and tackle.
Barry's going to be gone next year after
and quarterback.
What you need to come out with next year is an offensive line. Or I'm sorry, tomorrow. What is an offensive lineman within the first day? If we come out with an offensive lineman the first day, I will be open to the idea of drafting best available if we can get a surefire cornerstone left tackle for the next 12 years. Offensive line is so much harder to come by.
Who is that guy at 24?
Monroe. I think Monroe Freeling could be one of those guys. I think Manoa is most certainly one of those guys.
They're not for sure.
But it's not like
no one's for sure. No, they're not for sure.
No,
I'm just more confident. I'm more confident in those two. So I'm more confident in those two than I am on Tate.
Okay, let me pose a situation. Arvell Reese is somehow there at 6. You have the choice between Arvell Reese and Carnell Tate. Who are you taking?
I would take
best player in the draft or the receiver.
I would take Tate.
Who on the ESPN 100 big board is the wide receiver 3.
Carnell Tate.
Oh, that's unbelievable.
I would take Arvell. I think the realistic scenario is we probably trade back there, to be honest, but I would take Arvell.
I sprint to the podium if the best player of the entire draft is there at 6.
And I wouldn't be. It's not like I'm mad in this situation. I'm not delaying everything. Is my point.
Well, it's delayed regardless.
Yeah,
it's no matter what.
Our offense is not going to be fixed. I know where you have to start somewhere.
No,
it's just not.
No. You're not listening to me and Jake right now. If you think we're saying our offense is going to be fixed immediately. But you have to start. The offense isn't just a bippity boppity boo.
I'm aware you have to start somewhere, but we can start on offense without getting Carnell Tate. Is what I'm saying.
Correct. It's not do or die. You end up with Carnell Tate tomorrow night.
I agree. I think getting an offensive lineman is do or die.
Especially
I would say that.
If you get Arvell Reese I think this is the most shirt up defense in the NFL. And then next year, it's even easier to focus on offense because you don't have to worry about more defensive players.
Yeah. And guys, this receiver class, I know we don't like this receiver class. This receiver class is somewhat deep to the point where you can take a chance on an Omar Cooper. You can take a chance on Surratt. They could be a good wide receiver 2 or 3. You're still missing the one. You're still missing the guy. We don't have the guy. But again, I think wide receiver is so much easier to come by. Like A.J. Brown, for example. We could easily trade a second-round pick for A.J. Brown or Marvin Harrison. There's people that are going to become available. Brian Thomas had a ton of smoke about a month or two ago.
There are guys that are always on the block.
There are guys that are going to become available, where with linemen, I just don't think there is. Lineman, you don't hear about lineman trades hardly ever. We have been such in a pit fire of hell with offensive linemen. If we have a surefire guy that can sit down and lock in for the next 15 years and not have to worry about it, like a Joe Thomas, oh my God.
Well, I think that is more important. I agree. Tackle has to be taken tomorrow. But okay, let me give you a scenario. Hold on, Hunter. Amagano or Reese? Are you taking your tackle you just talked about? Or are you taking Reese?
You're taking Reese.
You just said,
fine, but that's our point we're making.
I don't know. Probably Reese, but you need to get a tackle.
Okay, well then
but you're talking about the best player in the draft. I think that's a little different. Whereas Mauanoa, I don't know. I don't know what I would do.
Ask him the same thing. Caleb Downs or Mauanoa.
Oh, I hope that's gotta be. That gotta be.
That would be Mauanoa. I think Reese is the only guy I would actually take over Mauanoa.
I would say if we take Reese, which I again would be fine. I'm not mad. The Browns haven't had a top tier the dude that's also just a big guy and so
agree.
long. And this idea of just continually kicking the can down the door, the door up because you get better on offense and just finding different ways to get better. At some point, I would love to invest in the offensive side of the ball. And Jackson, going back with I think it's also bold to say that if we get Reese, that our defense is automatically locked in to be great. Because we've seen with our defense the year before this, where the defense, fell back a little bit. And it's how the NFL works, that it goes up and down. So that's also where I'm like,
I think still a great defense.
I agree. I'm just saying
let me pose
it's
this.
also not guaranteed. I think you're speaking of
Let's
if you
do
get
this.
Reese, then if we
That's
get Reese,
fair.
though,
That's totally
I
fair.
would be a pro trade Myles Garrett. I'm just gonna say that now, but we can talk about that at a different.
That's another. That's post-draft episode. Let's do this. Let's do this before we end. That's the last thing we do. I'm going to say a name that the Browns take at 6, and you just all I need from you is you shoot me a thumbs up or a thumbs down, and that way we can go into tomorrow and we can have an idea of okay, what makes us happy, what makes us upset. Okay, let's start with yeah, just give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down. You love it or you hate it, or
Can I give a middle?
I don't want a middle. No, make a definitive decision.
Okay.
Let's start with Carnell Tate at 6. Okay, I'm with you. Let's now start with a Jordan Tyson at 6.
I would be happy with Tyson at 6. I would be very skeptical, but I would be happy.
The way I see it and the way I'm doing my thumbs up, thumbs down, I'd be at about a 55 happy, 45 upset, if that makes sense.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
I think he can't miss at 6, and he can miss because he's hurt, but I'm sorry.
I do agree with that. I agree.
Okay. Let's go with Francis Maui Noah at 6. Okay. Say he falls. David Bailey at 6.
I'm just not sold on Bailey.
It's fair.
But I'd probably be irritated at Bailey at 6.
Makai Lemon at 6.
I just think you can get Makai in the teens. Like if we wanted Makai, you can trade back for Makai.
Now remember, Makai Lemon is the number 1 receiver on the NFL big board.
Yeah.
Okay. People have him high for some reason. Ruben Bain at 6. Okay. I've seen one mock draft that has this. Jeremiah Love at 6.
Oh, dear God. We draft Jeremiah Love at 6.
What's the point?
Okay. Arvell Reese at 6.
I'd be happy.
That would be a fun defense to watch.
Yeah.
Let's go Sonny Styles at 6.
No.
And Caden Proctor at 6.
Ty Simpson at 6.
That is the next one I was going to say. Ty Simpson at 6.
Oh! I'm also screaming that at my TV.
That's ridiculous.
No, it's not. No, it's absolutely not.
Call me crazy. If we take Ty Simpson at 6, I'm at about a 51-49, only because I know at the very least Shedeur is gone.
I don't hate that.
So you would rather watch us burn than be wrong?
We're already burnt.
Yeah.
Well, no, Shedeur.
Jackson, hey, one more. I'm just curious. Caleb Downs at 6.
Well, yeah.
I think that one's probably the most unrealistic. I think that one's definitely the most like 50-50.
Caleb Downs
I'd be torn on it because Caleb Downs in a lot of ways reminds me of Jeff Okudah, meaning Okudah was like a perfect prospect coming out of Ohio State and then did nothing in the NFL.
Yeah. We have to think here. We were all almost guaranteed thinking we were getting Travis Hunter last year at this time.
Yeah.
I think we have to be open. We have to be open for all options tomorrow. We have no clue what is going on.
I agree.
I agree. I could not agree more.
Yeah.
I can't remember the last time we had an NFL draft where I was so
unsure
in the dark of who we were taking. You know what? The last time I felt like this going into a draft night was the last time I think we had 2 first-round picks was 2018. I had no clue who we were taking at 1 when we took Baker and then Ward at 4.
I wanted Saquon. I wanted Saquon at 4 so bad that draft.
I thought
Do
we
you
were going to
remember
go
that?
Saquon at 1, Bradley Chubb at 4.
Yeah.
I forgot about Bradley Chubb.
And I remember I loved Baker, so I was shocked when we took him 1, but I wasn't upset about it. I nearly passed out when they took Denzel Ward at 4. I hated that pick at the time so much, and boy was I wrong.
And I asked 2 things. I asked 1 for the draft, especially for the first round. Turn off your phones. Don't look on Twitter because then it ruins the entire experience. So I'll be putting you guys on mute, no offense, and then after the Browns pick, then we'll text. But I want to be like genuinely surprised about who we draft.
Cavs
Second,
basketball too.
kind of back to the argument we were having, just because I kind of want to recap on why I think it has to be Tate. Because I agree with you what you and Jack are saying. Like, if we get a safe defensive guy, like that's fine and like that's awesome. I have zero trust in the Browns organization to fix the offense and their avenues and their ways, and that's why I think it has to be Tate. Just because I know that he himself's a great person, great player, and that's something the Browns can't screw up. Because I think if we don't go him and we go defense, that's great. We got a great player. I have zero trust in Andrew Berry to do that position.
Can you imagine if they go Ruben Bain, biggest character issue in the top 10? That would be so fitting. Position that's not even a position of need, and it's a character issue.
What if we go like a Mekhi Lemon at 6?
Oh.
Like I just don't know. I just don't know who they like. I don't know who they like. You know what I mean? Like it's so hard to like do this.
I think he's a Ram, and then I think the guard is going to be a Bull. He'll be a Raven. The guard from Penn State. Those are like my 2 like locked in picks in the later rounds or in the teens.
Yeah.
Man, I hope Mendoza falls to 6. Man, that would make me happy. Let's say this: Mendoza at 6. Are you happy if we take him? I'm shocked to see Carter give a thumbs up.
You have to take him. Like he's a first. It's not a Ty Simpson situation.
I know, but
he's a
I'm
first round grade.
I know how much you love Shadur. I'm shocked you'd want to jeopardize his playing time.
Jake, wrap it up.
All right, let's call it. All right,
No outro?
Gentlemen, our Super Bowl's tomorrow. Let's enjoy it. Let's go in there. Let's hope we get a good draft. I will say, unlike last year, I think we're all on the same page in terms of guys we like and don't like and overall draft strategy. So I think we're all being either happy or sad together. But thanks for listening. We'll see you later.